I'm Hampshire, so today I'm going to be making my 2022 Senate predictions. So we're just going to start out by filling out the safe states. I have these states right here are safe for the Republicans. I'm also outside right now, so I just need to get this video out. Also, I was going to be safe because Chuck Grassley always wins by huge margins. Also, probably Florida. Rubio won by 8 in 2016. I think he'll win by a pretty decent margin. Pretty popular senator. Don't expect it really to be contested. Could be likely, but I think he'll win by more than 10. And Ohio is also going to be safe. Trump won the state by 8 twice, and the Republicans won the House popular vote by 14 in 2020. I think any real candidate could combine those votes and be able to win in Ohio by a safe margin in 2022. So now the safe Democrat states. Oregon, not going to be competitive. Washington, probably more competitive than Oregon. And these two, Maryland, I'm actually going to put Maryland likely because there was a poll a while ago that actually had Hogan beating Van Hollen in Maryland by getting more than 50% of the vote. You saw another poll in Vermont. It had Phil Scott beating Patrick Leahy, but Phil Scott only had 41. This poll had Hogan at like 50 or 51, I think it was. I'm getting a majority, all I know is that, but I think Hogan, there's been a lot of news about him running. If he runs, it could be a very interesting race. I have it likely be. Could just be a poll that's telling him that he should run. And also Illinois is going to be safe. Could be likely, but I don't think it really is going to be competitive. I know that Durbin didn't win by a huge margin considering it is Illinois in 2014, and it's going to be probably like an R+6 year based on like what the polling is saying. Like Quinnipiac has Republicans winning the House popular vote by 3. He'll probably end up winning it by a little more than 3, probably like 6 or so. That's what I think will happen in Illinois, Colorado. I mean the Republicans still are probably not going to be competitive in Colorado. I know Bennett is a little more popular than most politicians, but in Colorado I don't think it's going to be competitive. I mean, the Republicans were within 10 of winning the House popular vote in 2020 in Colorado, and I do think we will be able to get within 10 again, but it's not really looking too good for us. I don't think we'll have really a shot in Colorado. So the rest of these races, start with North Carolina. North Carolina is probably going to be likely Republican. Democrats don't have a good candidate. Jeff Jackson is probably their best candidate. But I mean, Beasley they're probably just going to have to, they're not really, if they run Jackson, they're not going to get the African American vote out enough. Beasley is just insane. So, yeah, the Democrats don't have a good candidate. And North Carolina is still a really, it's like a sort of a populist state, and also along with sort of a suburban and moderate Republican state. So I think that North Carolina will be able to do the same thing where they did, what they're going to do in Ohio, where they combine the populist vote and the suburban moderate Republican vote. So next state, Wisconsin. Ron Johnson's pretty popular. I do think Ron Johnson is going to win in Wisconsin by about 4 points. He did very well in the suburbs 2016, and a lot of the GQP stuff is probably not going to work in Wisconsin because they're just going to keep calling everyone Q. Wait, is every Republican Q? And then it's just going to completely fall upon them. I mean, he's not like the least controversial senator, but Ron Johnson he's probably going to do very well in the suburbs, and he's going to have a lot of grassroots support in the Driftless area because Trump's going to be campaigning in the Driftless to get the votes out. And the Senate really wasn't the focus in 2016, but that in 2022. So I think that, and we saw in Iowa recently where Trump voters were turning out in populist areas even without Trump on the ballot. So I think that Wisconsin is going to end up going lean Republican. So next we got New Hampshire. New Hampshire, probably lean Republican. I mean, Sununu, I don't know if he's going to run, but we'll see. If Sununu doesn't run, it's probably a 2 to 3 point win for Hassan. I think College Education would save Hassan if Sununu doesn't run, but Sununu's a beast, and this isn't Montana. very popular governor in New Hampshire, and if he runs, he wins, but if he doesn't, then Hassan's probably going to end up winning by 2 to 3 points in New Hampshire. It's very well possible that Hassan could lose even if Sununu doesn't run, but I think Hassan would win due to college education in New Hampshire if Sununu chooses not to run. And just need one more race. So Pennsylvania, I think Parnell is going to win in Pennsylvania. They don't have a good, now I think Connor Lamb's probably going to be the nominee, and he probably does have some decent suburban numbers. And I mean, if Fetterman's the nominee, it's freaking over for him. Fetterman's not going to win. He would just lose the suburbs so hard, and Republicans would still be competitive in the suburbs. I think Chester would probably be within 10 if Fetterman is the nominee in Pennsylvania. And Parnell, he'll get a lot of the working class votes out. He'll do better in the suburbs than Trump. He'll be able to capitalize on support in areas like Scranton. That gives you a sizable amount of voters. Not enough to push you over the top, but you have a lot of these areas like Erie County where you'll be able to pick up these voters here and there. And also, Philadelphia turnout is probably not going to be super high, which, yeah, I mean, a lot of these black voters, I mean, there could definitely be research, but resources put into that, but not nearly as much at the presidential level, so that probably makes Pennsylvania lean R. So next we got Arizona. That's lean Republican. I think that Masters is going to win if he's a nominee. Trump is easily going to end up endorsing Masters in Arizona. He's a very now America First policies actually do have a pretty high approval rating in Arizona, and areas like Yuma County will probably end up turning out for Masters by 15 points in Arizona, and Maricopa probably is not going to be super energized for Biden. A lot of the rural areas, especially rural Democrats, probably not going to turn out super much for the Democrats in Arizona. Okay, so now all we have left is Georgia and Nevada. Now in Nevada, I think that Laxalt is going to win in Nevada. I think he'll do pretty good I think he's going to flip Washoe back to the Republicans, because he's somewhat populist, but he does have somewhat of a moderate background in Nevada, so he will be able to flip the more white part of the state, which is Washoe. And Latinos are shifting to the right in Nevada, in areas like Nevada. You saw California, Los Angeles shifted 3 points to the right. Imperial shifted 3 points to the right. So the Hispanics are shifting, and this is probably going to be enough for Lake Salt or Laxalt, however you say it. I don't know how you say his name, but to win in New Hampshire or in Nevada. And then we have Georgia, the last state. I think Walker is going to win in Georgia. It'll probably be by probably 0.6 to 1.5 in Georgia. I think that it is going to be somewhat. It's going to be close. It'll probably end up going to a runoff, but People's Pundit has Walker doing very well in Georgia, and I mean, he could definitely appeal to a lot of the. He's a legend in Georgia. He can appeal very well to the suburbanites in Georgia. He'll be able to get the working class vote out really well, and giving those two African Americans in the ballot in Georgia, black turnout probably won't be super as energized as it was in 2020 for Warnock, and a lot of those voters who did turn out for the Democrats in the runoffs don't really have the motivation, like the 2K stimulus checks. They don't have that motivation to turn out for Democrats anymore in Georgia. So that is my prediction for the 2022 United States Senate in 2022. 54 for the Republicans, 46 for the Democrats. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.